Welcome to the REI Hot Seat.
We're in matching uniforms today.
That's it.
Unplanned.
Unplanned.
Yeah, these are great. I love these shirts.
You guys let us know. Put it in the comments. Do you want to be able to get these shirts?
Preamble before the podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So welcome, everybody. We have another great property to be showing today. Dave's going to start here by just giving us a little explanation of what he's got going on.
Yeah.
And we'll dive into it like we usually do.
This is a on-market 9-unit in London. The exterior facade, which you'll see from the photos, it's really beautiful. So it's cool. They did a lot of capex on the exterior, which we can touch on. You don't see that to this degree very often, especially at this price point. It is 9 units. All of them are 1 beds, except for there's 1 bachelor.
Okay. Boiler room special.
The boiler room special, but it is legal.
Okay.
So that's important. So we'll run through it here. They want, listing is $1,525,000. We've got it underwritten at give or take $1.3 million, which puts it at a 6 cap, just under.
Okay.
So I've got
very
it
nice.
At a 5.9 and change cap. So what's compelling is it's a 6 cap and it's 144 a door. So we like that.
Right. And which area of London is this in? Just before we dive more into the numbers.
Yeah. So I'll pull it up on a map. It's on Godfrey Drive. I don't know if you know where that is. Godfrey Drive, London. Do you know London well?
I know London fairly well. I don't know the street names like that, but east, west, south.
Here, you take a look, and you can tell the audience. It's by Little Caesars.
Which one?
No, there's only one.
Right on. Okay, so you're in the northeast side of London there.
Yeah.
Close to Fanshawe College, actually.
Okay.
Right around the corner.
And what do we think of the
area's decent.
Decent.
So I've done some work out there in the past, selling some buildings. There's a lot of that type of multifam out there, like smaller.
Yes, the
it's
whole
very
street,
neighborhood, right?
The whole
it's neighborhood
street is
built
kind of
up.
like
so.
this,
Yeah. As a rental neighborhood, I like it.
Yeah, what's interesting in chatting with the agent, strong agent, good guy. With all the changes that are going on with universities, college, and numbers dropping, it used to be such a selling feature. It's like right near the school, and it still is to some degree. Don't get me wrong. But what was interesting is there's some people that like the deal,
right? And
they're going, is it all students?
Right.
Because if it is, and attendance is dropping, what's compelling about this, the property manager is Filipino, and she's actually filled the building with mostly really good Filipino people who take care of the building. So it's and
it's interesting. So when I was selling stuff out in that area before, the student rental thing, like they were like, oh great, if there's vacancies, I'll fill them with students.
Yeah,
right? And now it's just such a opposite viewpoint where people are like, I don't really want to go into that.
It's so typical of the market. So people just overcorrect, right? If it's filled with students, and let's talk about the university specific, like Fanshawe or Western. And it's funny because I'm still bullish on it as long as the university metrics are pretty good. There's a few you want to stay away from.
Like, listen, we had obviously there was the big drop off of foreign students, right? And I think that's where a lot of people are getting scared with student rentals right now. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have these foreign students coming in. It's going to drop the tenant. Like at the end of the day, like there's still people going to university. Right, like it's just you're right. It's so black and white for people.
Yeah, it's so
where it's like as soon as there's some little news, it's in the news cycle, and it's like I'm not touching student rental. It's dead. No one's going to university anymore. It's like okay, so these multi-billion-dollar institutions are just gonna what? Like
well, it's funny too because this is a multifamily, and it's still the concern, right? It's not like a true student rental, and it's still the concern. So. Anyways, I thought I'd address that because I do know it comes up often.
Yeah,
it's a value add. So if we can get it for $1.3 million, which I'm not saying we can, this is where I like it.
And that's $1.3 million is the 6 cap, correct?
$1.3 million is the 6 cap. Okay. You got it. 144 door.
Right.
The ARV at a 5.5 cap, which I could argue you could maybe get lower because it's $215 a door, is almost $2 million. So there's a good lift on it.
Yep.
Okay.
And what's ARV, Dave? Just in case somebody doesn't know.
After repair value. Sorry,
after repair
I shouldn't
value,
use jargon, Or the stabilized value. So if you could snap your fingers and get market rents on everything and optimize the building, what's it worth?
Hey, can we talk about that a little bit? Because that's a really interesting topic that I want to dive into. So I know you've had the question many times, and I've had the question many times where people say, hey, you're showing me acquisition.
Yep.
And then you're showing me completely stabilized.
Yes.
And I've had a lot of people say, well, that's impossible. I'm never going to be able to get it completely stabilized like that.
Yes.
And I just wanted to address that and why you show your sheet that way,
Love that
why I show my sheet that way. And then for anybody that's seen one of our recent listings that just came out, which did go to, there's actually one that just came out a few days ago, and you'll see that. But anyways, it came out to the insider list, and we used the 5-year projection sheet, which is a little bit different. So I'll talk on that quick, but I want to hear your explanation of this. And then,
good point. Yeah. We get it a lot.
I've heard you on the phone explaining this, so I was like, oh, this is an interesting topic while we're here. Yeah.
Because it's important to understand, and I think guys that are followers of the show often are going to laugh because I'm going to repeat, but like, this is the filter. Right? The idea is during intake, and we see, we did 1,500 analysis last year. This is the filter to figure out what we even want to talk about.
We did 1,500 deal analysis.
Yeah, 1,500, over 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our average. Most of them suck. Yeah. Being honest, they're not worth talking about. The vast, you put it into the system, you funnel in 1,500, and what spits out,
that's
maybe
a heck
10%.
of a metric. 1,500 deals, right?
Trash. Like not all of them, obviously. But
so when people are saying I can't find a good deal out there, and they've only looked at 6 of them, it's like, hey guys,
run 1,500, right? Because you've got to think, even if 10% of those were good deals, which they're not, it's not 10%, it's less. You're still left with 150. So that you have to see a lot of these. So this is the filter under which we even have a conversation. Right. So if we do that, one of the things I want to look at is, hey, if we buy it for $1.3 million, what's the best case scenario in today's market right now that it's worth? Because sometimes we'll start the process of the filter, and they want $2 million, and when we snap our fingers and turn all the tenants and make it amazing, it's $2 million or 1.8, and you're going, well, that's a crappy deal. Right. So it's an important vision. The other thing our sheet falls short on is, by design, is it's not going to show you future projections, which is a good segue to yours. Like, we're not trying to do that for this. We're trying to figure out what deals to talk about. Where on the listing side, you need to show.
And this is where the whole deal at a glance thing comes in that we've talked about in the past, right? Which is, we want to just get the metrics quickly. We're looking at 1,500 deals a year, right? Yeah. So we can't do a 10 different scenario structure on 1,500 deals. So for, my understanding is, yes, we're going to look at what the total possible lift is in the best case scenario.
Yeah.
And is there enough return there? Is there growth on your capital? If not, okay, it's a decent stabilized building, but then that means we need to adjust the metrics on the acquisition pro forma, saying we're going in at a 6 cap, it's stabilized, we're just going to put money there and leave it and let it grow. So it's not necessarily a bad deal if all the lift is already taken, but it's a different metric.
It's a different deal.
It's a different deal that you're running.
For the buyers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah,
100%.
thank you for explaining that.
Great point. That is beautifully brought out. So looking at the deal, you guys have seen this from us many, many times. I'm trying to pick it up, move it to CMHC, and hit the debt cover requirements. Now, the challenge with some of this sometimes is this is a little bit more on the value add side. So in an ideal world, if we can hit 85% LTV at purchase and still get lift over time, that's the goal, right? That's the dream. So obviously I've underwritten this a little bit on the aggressive side to where we really like it. We're underwriting with a 4.25 cap. 4.25 interest rate.
Okay. Yeah.
Debates on that. It's trending down, and then we see some.
I think that's a safe number, especially on smaller buildings, right? If we're running $10 million plus buildings, then we can, or even $5 million plus buildings. I think we can try to tighten that up 100%. A little bit. But listen, if it works at a 4.25, and then all of a sudden your client ends up getting financing at 3.9. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody winning. Like, you're winning here.
We do get that, right? People watch the show and they say, well, you did air at, air's an assumable debt. It's a bad one. But if it was that size, at 3.75, maybe even 3.5, depending on the time, and now you're running it at 4.25. It's like, this is you're going to get a mortgage of $1.1 million. Yeah. So,
And how it works is the spread, right? So the lender is going to basically say, well, what's my piece of the deal, right? And that's the spread. So you're going to look at the bond rate, right, 5 or 10 year, and then there's going to be that spread on that rate. So anybody can go online, just type in bond rate, overnight rate, or whatever you want to look at. But you can actually sign up for mailing lists from multiple different lenders. So every morning you'll actually get an email in your inbox with the rates.
You
can take a look. I look at it every single morning.
Same. So here's an example. I just pulled up Peak Hill. We're not saying there's the ones you need to go to, but I do like their daily bond yield sheet. 5-year Government of Canada is 2.75,
Right.
and a 10-year is 3.17. So what would somebody do with that?
Yeah.
You have a 10-year is 3.17. So what do we do when we look at that?
Oh, they're down quite a bit, actually. I haven't looked
I
at
know,
them
now
this
I'm going,
morning. I'm like,
I
oh,
actually might need to
man,
adjust.
you got to go.
Yeah. But this is a
gotta
good
adjust.
example, right? So again, hopefully this isn't too far in the weeds, but
Yeah.
if you get a 5-year, you need to hit a 1.3 debt cover.
Yes.
We keep doing 1.2s because we're likely in a 10-year. We're not the ones making that decision. That's going to be your mortgage brokers. If we look at a 10-year, you're at 3.17. On a mortgage of $1 million, a 1% spread or 100 basis points is not outrageous.
Yeah.
So that would obviously put us to from 3 to 4, 4.17.
Yeah.
You're
4.25. That's
It's
actually
a fair,
spot on.
yeah, it's a fair
you're
number.
spot on there.
If we're looking at a $10 million deal, they're not going to take a 1% spread on a deal that size because it's the same amount of work for $1 million as a 10 mil.
And the spread gets adjusted by risk factor, loan amount,
A lot of
value add, stabilized, right? So like the banks are just going to look at it and say, well, what is our risk profile to take this? With CMHC, it's almost nothing, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then they basically lend on that. So if it's a tertiary market, the spread might be a little bit more. If it's downtown Toronto, stabilized turnkey product, it's going to be a pretty tight spread. So these are things to keep in mind. I don't think there's anywhere you can go and look at what the spreads are. It's deal specific. But if you do enough deals, you kind of understand smaller deals, tertiary markets, this is what you can expect, 1 to 1.25 basis,
Yeah, and what we recommend to everybody is we need to be engaged with whoever you're using for your mortgage, right? So we make a lot of recommendations on who to use. If you're using a residential mortgage broker, we will strongly advise. In fact, we won't work with people that do that because it could be a big problem. And we will engage with them with your permission, and we will have them analyze the sheet. They run the numbers. They pick the interest rate, right? Once we decide we like a deal, and then we re-input their numbers and work off their numbers. So
Exactly.
good little tangent.
Let's get out of the weeds. We'll finish this.
Yeah. So
what are we
look,
going
we're looking at buying it for $1.3 million, $144 a door. Required capital $250,000.
Okay.
For 9 unit. Okay. 85% LTV, 4.25 interest rate. We are picking the deal up, sending it as is. We're hitting a 1.3 debt cover.
Right on.
That's a 5.75 cash on cash.
Perfect. I was just going to say, I know you updated your sheet to include cash on cash. Because
You
that's
made
the question
me.
I always
You
have.
made me without making
Well, it's just
me.
a nice little metric to
important.
say, hey, if I'm buying this building, how does it compare to my stock portfolio? Or how does it compare to me going into bonds in the bank?
You're going to hate me. I have to bring us in the weeds one more time, and then I'm done.
No, this is what the show's about, Dave. I
This
want
is
it.
the next thing with the cash on cash metric. We don't look at mortgage pay down. We're factoring in no appreciation. We're not factoring in annual rental increases into this. So the challenge I get sometimes is people say, well, my stock portfolio is doing 8%.
Right.
And then we can work our way backwards and actually start looking at mortgage pay down, annual increases, and the number goes
And I think all those metrics, it depends. What are you looking for in your investment portfolio, right? Do you need cash flow, heavy cash flow? Because then cash on cash is really the only number you care about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if that's the case, very honestly, I would probably say, why don't you go speak with the bank?
Well, it
and
depends.
see what they can
If you
do,
take,
right?
always. I'm very
if it's
much.
just I want cash flow, monthly dividends, whatever it is.
It depends on I'm very bullish on diversification. But if you look at if we just look at this, we're not factoring in any of the lift from when you buy it to what that stabilized value is.
Yeah.
So if we get one tenant leaves, which is typical, you have a 9 unit, you're usually 10% a year, give or take, especially if it's in an area like that, probably more, that cash on cash is going to skyrocket very quickly. So it's just, it's a filter for the sheet, not necessarily to cross compare to other portfolios.
Yeah, and just the difference between your total your return on investment, your total return on investment, which is going to be your 3 investment parameters you just spoke about, versus your cash on cash return, which is at every dollar in, how much am I getting back?
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might be I know you do a good job of that on the listing side, which is important. So the idea is very minimal capital required for a nice deal that looks really nice. So we'll end with just some photos and
you can retain the property management that's there?
Believe so. They were a little bit maybe kind of situation. So, if you look at the units, they're good. They're not great. It's almost like the exterior is nicer than the interior. but they're manageable.
Yeah.
Manageable units.
But that's not over improved. Like I think that's actually perfect for that area of town. You're going to be able to rent that. You haven't put too much money into the units.
Yeah, nice.
The building, the big capex items from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
look
the brand
like
new
it's
roof.
done, right? Roof looks great.
Unless that's AI generated.
Yeah, no ponding water throughout.
It's made of black.
But yeah, I think that's a great deal because you're
250.
So 250 in.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if you can get it for the price we have.
Yep.
But 250 in, you're getting 5% cash on cash.
575.
So 6% cash on cash. I like to round up.
That was good.
6% cash on cash on your money.
Yep.
So right there, I think that might already be beating some people's stock portfolios.
Yeah. Before
you've
you've done anything. Yeah.
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 And that's a very, very obtainable number.
Look, I mean, even if it goes, you have to buy it for 1.4, it's still a very compelling deal.
Yeah.
Oops. Here, we'll just do that quick.
And what's nice about that, just I'll go on a little tangent, but what's nice about that is 250 into the deal and you have enough cash on cash, you have enough cash flow on this deal to actually go JV, raise the money, take it out of a line of credit, right? These are things that we don't really talk about in the weeds, but for 250, when I say that's obtainable, I'm not saying everybody should have 250K sitting in their bank account. I don't want to get in trouble for that. Right? I do want to say obtainable through, that could be a joint venture, right? That could be raising the capital as equity or getting a line of credit for the amount or a HELOC on your home, right? If you have equity in your house, pull out 250K, your burn rate on that's going to be whatever. And we can do that math as well and show you, hey, even with your borrowed down payment, here's your total return. It's going to make the deal tighter, but you're still getting into it.
We have a client that's actually doing that. They're looking for a property. It's going to be all financed from their home equity line.
Perfect.
We've engaged with their mortgage broker. They are giving us a general criteria under which to buy. So they don't care. They're not telling us location or style. They're saying, hey, we need to hit these particular metrics and we'll be just fine. And that's what we're strongly advising. We don't want to make it seem like if you don't have the money to never borrow, right? That would be too far the other direction. We have a lot of people that leverage to buy. We just want to make sure that it's being properly advised to.
And that's a big thing. You don't want to be leveraged to buy. You don't want to leverage your personal property to buy a property that is a negative cash flowing for you, because then you're going to be in a world of hurt, right? So you have to make sure you're getting the properties that have the cash flow. And I think what got a lot of people caught up is the whole, well, I can get it there mentality, right? Yeah, I'm buying it negative, but I'll get it there quickly.
Burr or bust.
Burr or bust. Thank you. That's the term. So let's stay away from that.
Agreed. So love it. Look, there's a lot of deals. I mean, this is on market, right? There's a lot of these deals that are out there on and off market. So still quite bullish on what we're seeing and great opportunity.
Awesome. Dave, that's a great one. Thanks for bringing that.
Beautiful. Well, hopefully you like it. There's a lot of good deals like this, both on and off market. If you're interested, you know the routine. Like, subscribe, fill out the intake form to hit the insiders group.
Yep.
We've got, we can do intake calls with you, analyze deals. If you're looking at selling, we can give you a value of what your property, even if you just want to know what it's worth, we do opinion of value all the time. And we've got a calculator on there as well, so people can monkey around with their own deals if they want to. So
love it. Yeah. Hey guys, don't forget to comment. All right, if you have any questions, you like what you see, comment below. What do you want to see more of? That's very helpful for us to, build out the next episode.
And do they like the shirts?
And that's it. And do you want the shirts?
Do we want and like the shirts? Yes.
Love it. All right, guys. Thanks.